appreciate Carter joining the show. We are going to move over and transition over to the Division II side of things. And like I talked about in the intro, I'm going to jump in my soapbox here, Trev. We're going to talk about why the NCAA changed the viewing of Division II football, specifically when it comes to postseason football. Right now, we have a few leagues that are entering different contracts with different streaming services. The GLIAC is a great example. We partnered with Flow Sports, and that's now where all the GLIAC regular season football games are available. You have a lot of different conferences, like the RMAC, who is on the RMAC Sports Network, which is a free service, by the way.
Isn't that...
It's kind of crazy.
Doesn't the NSIC do something very similar as well?
Yes, the NSIC Sports
I know
Network, I think, is very similar.
I know it's free.
Yeah.
For all that, like, you can just... For any sport, too. They're all free.
Which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But you think about that, the priority is eyes on the product as opposed to monetary gain, because they assume that that will come with more people that watch and support.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At least this would be kind of, I don't work there, but I would assume. Now, then you also have leagues like the Gulf South, like the GLIAC, some of the teams that are in Flow Sports contracts. The MIAA, I don't believe is Flow, but they are under a different payment plan. You have to have a subscription to watch their football games in particular. Now, no matter what conference you're from, you've got to have a paywall. The NCAA said you have to have a paywall for these broadcasts. You're not allowed to do free broadcasts. Now, the direct quote was that there will be no free video broadcasts available for NCAA games this year, and the NCAA no longer allows local television broadcasts of games. So not only are you charging people to watch from the live stream from your school, affiliate, college, university, you're not allowed to have local TV stations broadcast the games. So great examples of this. Colorado Mines out in Golden, Colorado, their local TV stations always pick up their games. That's how a lot of people tune in and follow the Ore Diggers.
So, like, the whole season.
Yeah.
They always pick it. Like how, like, we usually just have, like, NMU and Tech gets picked up by
TV6, who's the local channel affiliate, and that gets broadcast
and a lot of, like,
across the UP.
the hockey games as well get picked up.
So, like, that wouldn't be allowed.
That's insane.
So you're taking a huge chunk of the audience away already. And, you know, if you don't think about that might not be a big deal. Oh, it's a huge deal, because then you don't have control over the advertising, and that's how you make money, right? Is you play certain advertisements during the game, during intermissions, during halftime, whatever, and that's you're selling out those blocks to different businesses and corporations, whatever, to earn your money. The NCAA is requiring all schools to stream behind a paywall. Each game will cost $9.95, or fans can get access to all Division II football playoff games in the first 3 rounds, so until the semifinals, for $19.95, which is what I did because I wanted to watch playoff football. Yeah. But you bought the one. You bought the one pay-per-view.
It's $9.95 or whatever plus tax too.
Really? So it does you get taxed
a
little more
too. Yeah. So it was like 10, 20 or 10 something like that, and like it still was barely cheaper for me to buy the 2 Grand Valley games. Cause that's what I mostly wanted to watch.
Yeah.
But I should have just got the all access, but that's still just stupid. It's
ridiculous. I knew I was going to be watching a lot of games, so I figured I may as well just get the access because I want to be able to post things on our channels and things like that. But reading Reddit is a great place for a lot of this stuff. And on the college football Reddit page, they kind of get into a little bit of a rant, and this talks about some of the logistics of how this goes down. And I guess we maybe should start with kind of the official release that came out November 2nd. And this really is a partnership between the NCAA and Huddle to not really produce, but to provide live on-demand coverage.
I didn't even know that Huddle did that.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest with you, when I saw, because I went into Flow Sports originally to watch that, I think it was the Grand Valley Ferris game, round 1, and I went in and it wasn't there, so I went on to their actual, Grand Valley football schedule, and it said Huddle. I'm like, what?
I was very confused when I looked at it as well. I think this kind of went over the heads of a lot of people, and now that we're seeing the actual effects of it, people are now obviously taking quite the offense to it. So,
and then what's weirder too, to keep going, it's Huddle. You have to pay for this, and then for like Grand Valley, when it's hosted at Grand Valley, it's just their GVSU network that they already broadcast.
Same shit.
Yeah, it's the same exact thing. Now you just have to pay for it, and
that's what's crazy too is these companies don't pitch in money to up the production of these broadcasts, right?
That's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah,
they make demands.
Like Huddle
but they don't give
is
the means.
$10 to watch this game, or like any game, right? But Huddle's not doing anything to make these broadcasts better in any way. You're not adding like better commercials or anything. Like there's no media. It's just ridiculous. I mean,
It's absurd, dude. It is absurd. But kind of looking at this a little bit, it's an exclusive partnership with the NCAA and NCAA Digital, managed by Warner Brothers Discovery Sports, to stream more than 200 NCAA Division II championship contests in 2023 and 24. So championship contests, I'm assuming, right, that means that's going to be more than just football. So we're going to see this trickle in to other sports as well. It's kind of my understanding of that.
All D2 sports is what it sounds like.
Which is just, that's insane.
So Warner Brothers partners with the NCAA, correct?
Yeah, so it says here it's managed by Warner Brothers Discovery Sports.
What the hell is that?
That's a great question.
And where does Huddle come in?
Here it says this partnership includes live on-demand coverage of Division II football and women's volleyball championships this fall, and then Division II men's and women's basketball championships this winter. So there's our, I found that, there you are, it's right there. So that makes a little more sense. So it's just really frustrating. And starting to read some of the details here.
I hope that hopefully Warner Brothers actually is like doing it themselves, though. It's not, again, just like using whatever the host, say that volleyball, I don't know where they have the championship at. Like, is it just going to be their broadcasting system? Or is Warner Brothers actually like, you see what I'm getting at? Like,
I don't think it is. I think it's going to be the same shit. I don't see it changing at all, to be honest. That's my thing. I don't think we're going to see any kind of change in the actual production of the broadcast.
So the football championships normally on ESPN.
Yeah, and that's gonna stay the same.
That's gonna stay the same.
So it's up to the semifinals. The semifinals and finals will be broadcast. I think that's hands off from them. I believe it's kind
ESPN still gets that.
That's my understanding. Yeah. That's my understanding of at least how this is supposed to go down. But looking at the Reddit here, right, and the schools obviously still on the hook for all the costs of production, right? So your staffers, your actual equipment, and the live, all that time and all that energy and manpower, right? And you think, what are the schools getting in return for this? Because they have to be getting something. According to this source, it's a flat $1,500 per game. No share of the pay-per-view revenue, that is a mouthful, and no share of advertising.
So all they get is $1,500?
All they get is $1,500 flat. And it doesn't matter if 1 million people watch the game or 100 people watch the game.
That's ridiculous.
So you're penalizing the teams that could potentially have a very large viewership, really is what it's doing.
Yeah.
Which these teams do because they're playoff football teams and people love to watch this shit.
Yeah. And on top of that, $1,500 a school gets. That's nothing change, dude. For any D2 university. $1,500 is nothing.
That's literally chump change. Like that's such bullshit.
Frankly, that's not even. Most players have probably more aid from the school through academics.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Through anything. They're gonna have more,
anything. They're probably gonna have more than $1,500.
And they only get that $1,500 if they meet Warner Brothers standards, which include running all the ads that Warner Brothers has sold and sent to the schools to run. Because again, the schools are responsible for all aspects of the production. Now, SID, sports information directors, and other people across college athletics are obviously pissed off, and it seriously is astounding to me that this has passed and this is being put into effect. I really don't understand it. So I think we found a couple numbers here to kind of really explain explicitly how much of an effect it has. And I believe I've got the tweets here that we can pull them up. This first one is probably the best example of it, Trev. You're going to see this and you're just going to think to yourself, like, holy shit. This is from, I believe, and all my camera's all messed up there. If I hover over here, you'll see. This is the director of athletic communications for Slippery Rock, John Holtz.
So this is
not some Joe Schmo. Like this is, he works this, he lives this. He says here, great win by Rock football today, an awesome job by our athletic communications team today. I wish more people would have seen it. We lost 85% of our average viewers from the regular season because of the game being behind a paywall. A lot of work by our staff to be viewed by not a lot.
It's just ridiculous. Like,
that's incredible to me. That is 85%. And not only is it 85% from he didn't say 85% from playoffs a year ago. From the regular season, viewership was down 85%.
That's nuts. This doesn't surprise me because the payroll's ridiculous.
No, and if you're not.
Because think about, like, how many people are just like, oh, I'll watch this game. Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch it.
Yeah, if you're not like a Slippery Rock person, like you don't know someone or have a connection to Slippery Rock or like really.
If you're not a family member. Or you're like a friend or a family member, why pay the $10?
Most of which are already there.
And most of them are already there, yeah. Why pay the $10?
Yeah. Unless you're a tryhard like me. That's where they're making their money.
Yep.
Idiots like me.
Yep. Or idiots like me.
I'm part of the problem.
Or idiots like me that bought 2 separate games.
I don't even pay $20. I just paid two $10 payments.
Not thinking that I'd definitely pay the next week as well.
Yeah, you didn't know if they'd win. That's the playoffs.
True.
But no,
I'm the real idiot.
It is ridiculous. And just seeing that number right there, we lost 85% of our average viewers from the regular season.
So I can't believe NCAA would agree to this.
And the whole thing behind the point of doing this was to get more eyes on the games. How in the hell
are you getting more eyes?
Getting more eyes on the games. And you use an example, another one that I'll pull up here from another person on Twitter. Now, I don't believe this is the director of athletic communications for Colorado Mines, but we'll take his opinion just as valid here. He throws out some good numbers, and he says here, lost 76% of our online viewing audience with the paywall today compared to last year's NCAA second round game. So now, at least we're comparing apples to apples, right? This is NCAA second round to NCAA second round. We were talking 83% compared to the regular season, but even this still is an astounding number. Plus, our entire TV audience. So this is a Golden Colorado, obviously the example we're talking about with Colorado Mines, the Ore Diggers. Their games are picked up by the local television stations, and they broadcast those.
They probably have so many people that watch their games
because they're good. They're a really good football team. And guess what?
There's
not shit else going on.
Lost 76% of their audience from last year.
Yeah,
this team is probably better than the team last year.
Probably, almost definitely. We'll see how the rest of it pans out. But I would say definitely.
They shouldn't be losing any audience.
Dude, it's so insane. And that right there, we are getting a whopping 6% of the net revenue back. Not sure how this is extending the reach of the Division II championships. People are pissed off.
As they should be. As we are, too. We're pissed off, too.
This collaboration, it says in the quote he posted here, in partnership with WBD Sports, Warner Brothers Discovery Sports, will allow fans to support their favorite Division II teams and student athletes from anywhere across multiple platforms. It integrates the championship streams with a broad range of Division II regular season coverage available on the Huddle platform. Right here, this is the target sentence. Our aim is to make championship moments more accessible and memorable than ever before. That's a great tagline. It sounds super sweet. It rolls off the tongue. It's a very corporate way of saying, we need more money, and this is a way we can capitalize on it.
All they're doing is saying, hey, you all click the Huddle link, and you have to pay us $10. Yeah. That's all it's doing.
That's my problem with this. And
that's
see this
all
a
it's
lot
doing
across college sports, is that these upper-level entities want to take advantage of the broadcast, and they have certain expectations of the broadcast. What they're not willing to do is provide the schools and universities with the means to meet those expectations.
Something needs to happen. It obviously needs to be better quality because I have problems with it too. But NFHS that uses it's a lot of the nation for high school sports now. And again, it's not the same quality that you need to have for college, but you need to have something like that where you pay for a subscription or whatever.
Uniform, you get everything.
But you get everything.
Yeah,
you should be able to have all access to all Division II sports. If you want it yearly,
you're talking year round too, not just playoffs.
Yeah,
right? Not just playoffs. Because now all you're talking about is, if I have a Flow Sports account, I watch all of the GLIAC football. I'm a huge GLIAC football fan. I watch all the GLIAC football throughout the entire year. We get into the playoffs. Now my Flow Sports account means jack shit.
Yeah,
and I got to pay more.
Or if you want to watch, especially for our podcast, you want to watch someone else, but they use a different platform. I'm not going to pay for it. But if you try to get everyone, all NCAA Division II, or you want to do Division III too on one platform, and it's just this flat rate.
That'd be nice.
It would. Now, that's what they have to do.
If they were serious about that, you're onto something like huge there, and that it might be a lot of work. To hell with that. It's all into the NCAA. We're not talking about looping NAI into it. That'd be great too. But that's a different entity.
If high school, I know it's not to the same level. Yes. I get it. It's not to the same quality. But if high schools can do it,
why the hell can't we?
I think almost all of Michigan, like MHSAA, almost all of them have NFHS. You know what I mean? Why can't we do that with this is the NCAA? It should be easier for the NCAA to do it.
Could you imagine, man? You pay one price, you have access to all. This would be like an NFL Sunday ticket type of thing.
Yeah,
it'd probably be a little more expensive, but you have access to, for people who are actually fans of
Yeah.
lower level college football, you're going to get more people interested in this because they'll buy the pass. If they say, you know, you're a fan of maybe 2 teams, you can watch these 2 teams all year, and now you get to watch other teams.
Yeah.
That's how you genuinely get more eyes on different
That's
football.
the same thing.
You know
Like
what I mean?
my family has NFHS. Like,
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're watching. Yeah, of course.
to watch my younger brother, whatever. And like my mom, she would be like, when I get bored sometimes, I'll just go and watch the other teams. Cause like, she's like, I don't watch film with Tyler. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm not watching the film, but I want to see what the other team looks like. So she's like, you can click the on-demand game and you can just start watching them and see how they look.
And that's like,
Why can't we do that for the NCAA? If we can do it for high school sports, why can't we do this for NCAA?
and I'm trying to think of the word here, but it is, you know, it's genuine, it's authentic, it's like non-forced. What's the word here? But like, that's the way of creating engagement. Of
Yeah.
like, if non-artificially, you know what I mean? Like,
I get what you're trying to say. I can't think of a
I
good
can't
word.
think of the word, and it's pissing me off, but that's how you do it. You
Yeah.
want people to genuinely be interested in that, and you're not manufacturing that. You're not
Yeah.
forcing that, and you want people to genuinely come across that kind of content, and they stick around for the right reasons. By the way, Lake Orion High School 2019 NFHS National Broadcasting Program of the Year. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
It was a pretty big award, actually. It was pretty cool.
That's
to
pretty
be-
sweet,
to be a
actually.
part of. But on that note, too, this on the D3 side, Mount Union was the only team to put a paywall on their playoff game this last week. It was about $10 for the pay-per-view, and this apparently was not the first time that the Purple Raiders have done this. I stumbled across this tweet from 2018, and it says here, Mount Union charging $10 for a live stream is an absolute joke. Streaks by 1,000. So they must have been playing John Carroll, the Blue Streaks.
Yeah.
That was September 22nd of 2018. So Mount Union's been on this bullshit.
You know what? they deserve to lose after that shit.
So they turned off, or they turned off all their replies and comments across all platforms, and then they had the game behind pay-per-view, so people couldn't even watch it if they wanted to. And then I'm interested to ask Carter about this because the interview would have already aired, but I saw, I think it was like his dad or something was tweeting about how he was like treated super poorly by the people at the stadium. So,
Well,
I guess this whole Mount Union environment is just a shithole over there.
Well,
in
all
Alliance,
they
Ohio.
expect is to win all the time. So they didn't know what the fuck was happening when they just lost.
They didn't know how to operate, dude.
Like their bodies probably just stopped functioning.
Oh my gosh. But let's get into the playoff picture.